welcome to another episode of Sports Perspective. I'm Hayden Grove.
And I'm Franz Ross. Hayden, there were a few minutes in the third quarter it looked like the Bearcats may give the Buckeyes chase, but Ohio State was able to maintain their 90-plus year streak of beating Ohio teams at home against Cincinnati.
You are correct, Franz. The Buckeyes were victorious against their in-state rivals on Saturday night, and I was there to give you the Buckeye-Bearcat breakdown. It was truly a back-and-forth affair between the Buckeyes and Bearcats in this Buckeye State battle on Saturday night, but the duo of J.T. Barrett and Ezekiel Elliott proved too much for Gunnar Kiel as the Buckeyes pulled away at the end by a final score of 50-28. In front of a record-setting crowd of 108,362 fans, the Ohio State offense elevated to historic heights on Saturday at Ohio Stadium, amassing the third most yards in a single game in Buckeye history with 710 on the evening.
Other than a drop third down and a fumble, I was very pleased for the night offensively.
Of those 710 yards, quarterback J.T. Barrett accounted for 409 of them, putting him only behind former OSU quarterback Art Schlichter, who accounted for 412 yards in a 1981 game against Florida State. Barrett also threw for 4 touchdowns against the Bearcats on Saturday, but despite his historic numbers throughout the season, he's still giving himself an average grade for his efforts thus far.
I'm really hard on myself. I think C+. I feel like there's a lot of times during the game where I walk back to the side like, man, Jay, you know what to do on that play. So this is game-by-game thing, but right now C+ and a B-.
The other main contributor to the Buckeye offense was running back Ezekiel Elliott, who rushed for 182 yards on 28 carries, each coming as a career high for the sophomore. Throughout the night, Elliott bulldozed his way to first down after first down, but after the game, he would only offer praise to the guys up front who protected him.
Just the line, man. They came out, they did their job, they did it really well. Now, when they block like that, it'll be really easy.
Meyer, who's been concerned with the offensive line since camp started in August, said he's finally seeing signs of the Ohio State offensive line he envisioned.
We're an offensive line-driven team, and they won the game for us.
While the offense was historically good on Saturday, at least in one way, the defense was almost as historically bad. Cincinnati wide receiver Chris Moore needed just 3 catches to break the Ohio Stadium record for most receiving yards by a Buckeye opponent, as he and Kiel connected for 3 receptions for a total of 221 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Great teams don't do that. I don't want to take anything away from UC, because UC is a legitimate throwing, probably the best throwing team we faced since we've been here. That's a legitimate, you know, when Coach Tupperville says he's got the best group of receivers that he's ever had, you know, that everybody takes a deep breath and go, really?
Without those 3 receptions, Kiel finished with just 131 yards and a touchdown through the air, which prompted Chris Ash to look at the positives rather than the negatives following the game.
When you watch the film, there was 3 plays. 3 plays, gave up 221 yards is what it was. And, other than that, we played pretty good, but it's not about being tight. You know, it's about not letting it get behind us, and on one of the plays, we got to keep our eyes in the right spot.
While the Bearcats did end up storming back into the game, it was a big sack from Joey Bosa that ended up in a safety that pushed the Buckeyes out to their early 30-7 lead. It seems as if Bosa has a knack for the big play, but he doesn't seem to be looking for it.
I don't know, just made a move inside and my eyes got big and ran as fast as I can, hit him as hard as I could. I actually thought he got the ball off, so I stood up and went to walk back to the line, but I saw the ball pop out, so I don't know, just exciting.
Overall, Meyer was pleased with his team's effort on Saturday night, but says, as always, there's work to be done.
Give up 300 yards passing and be able to look you in the eye and say that's a championship-level football team out there. I see certain units playing at a very, very high level, not 9. And so our objective, and any championship-level team operates at 9. And we, you know, since I've been here, we have not operated at 9. We came close a few times, and today was a good example. That wasn't 9 strong, though. And so we got to get a couple units fixed and figure out what's going on and give them the best opportunity to be successful.
Now at 3-1 on the season, the Buckeyes will head into Big Ten play next week as they head to College Park to take on the Maryland Terrapins at noon. Until then, for Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove. While the Buckeyes were busy beating the Bearcats, 13 former Buckeyes were inducted to the Ohio State Athletic Hall of Fame for their efforts in the Scarlet and Gray. I was able to catch up with a few of the Hall of Famers, including a Heisman Trophy winner and an Olympic gold medalist. For some, it was an email.
I got an email. I thought that was a little odd because I just graduated a few years ago, so really excited.
For others, a tweet.
I actually read it through a tweet. I had missed everything, and it was a congratulations tweet from a follower, and I thought it was a little bit of a joke. I wasn't quite sure if that was real. I didn't know that I could be up for something like this.
For each incoming member of the Ohio State Athletic Hall of Fame, however, excitement was abounding when they heard that they would be joining a group of Buckeye legends.
Playing at Ohio State was a special experience for me, and to be identified as being a special group out of already a special group, it's just really pretty exciting.
I'm a crier, so I was completely overwhelmed. I totally broke down crying. It was just amazing, sort of surreal, I can't believe this is actually happening sort of a feeling. It was pretty cool.
I really think that there are a lot of people probably more worthy of it, but you know, when you add up your whole career and the impact you had, I can recognize how somebody nominated and why they thought I made a contribution. But it's a humbling experience, but it makes you feel good.
Of the 13 members of the Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2014, a couple of the most notable were 5-time Pro Bowl NFL player Antoine Winfield and the most recent Heisman Trophy winning Buckeye, Troy Smith.
Knowing the work that I put in, the time, we really had some good teams. I couldn't have did what I did without the help of my teammates, so it's just not me going into the Hall of Fame. I'm bringing all the fellas in with me.
To feel that you are a part of the tradition, to know that you are a part of the rafters, to know that unless they burn it down, it won't be moved. You know, that means something.
For Winfield, who ended his 15-year NFL career following the 2012 season with the Minnesota Vikings, joining the Ohio State Hall of Fame is not just an individual accomplishment. Rather, it's Winfield and his teammates who will be receiving the recognition.
I'm very excited, but like I said, it's not all about me. It's all about my team, my family, so I'll definitely include all those guys in my speech.
Smith, like Winfield, also spoke of his teammates and said that when viewers see his name on the Hall of Fame plaque, he wants them to remember a leader.
If anything, the first thing that I would want them to believe, understand, know, you know, as soon as it comes to mind about me is he was a great leader. He led his troops. He put others before himself. I think those are qualities that not everyone possess, and it's a daily struggle, a daily battle to maintain, you know, treating people right. And I think that, you know, that should be the way that, you know, people think and envision themselves when they look at me.
It wasn't only Buckeye footballers who were honored, however, as women's hockey, fencing, women's track and field, men's golf, wrestling, synchronized swimming, and men's tennis were each represented as well. Former Ohio State women's hockey star Tessa Bonham, who won a gold medal for Team Canada in the 2010 Olympic Games, said that while that gold medal was an amazing achievement, this is one she certainly won't forget either.
To now have my name inducted alongside all of these amazing athletes who I looked up to and who I read about is truly special. I don't think there is a word to explain it aside from I'm in complete awe, and I've had goosebumps all day, and I'm still trying to figure this all out.
No matter the sport, no matter the year, for each of the members of the class of 2014, one thing was for certain. They'll always have a love and appreciation for the school they call home.
I had a moment in the Oval where you know, I got a little emotional, and it was pretty cool to be back and meet up with some old friends who still live here, friends and teammates. So it's been a lot of fun.
The thing about being with Buckeyes is, yeah, once you're a Buckeye, you're always a Buckeye, and you just come back and you mesh like you never were apart.
And it means something to my family. It means something to me. We hold Ohio in its entirety dear to our hearts, and this is home.
For Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.
After the weekend win against Cincinnati, Urban Meyer, Ed Werner, Ezekiel Elliott, and Armani Reeves spoke to the media on Monday afternoon, and each looked back to the problems that plagued the Buckeyes against Cincinnati and looked forward to traveling to Maryland for the first game of the Big Ten schedule.
I've never been to the stadium, so I wanted, it's turf, it's going to be a noon game, but I can imagine, you know, I've been at, you know, places where, you know, yeah, but this will be an atmosphere. They've been working on this one, I imagine, for a while. This will be a big time atmosphere.
I mean, it'll probably be crazy. I mean, but we've gone into some pretty big stadiums and Big Ten play, so I mean, I don't think it'll be anything we haven't seen before.
The Kent State game, we played really well. We knew exactly who we wanted to play. We rotated guys in, and in this game, we played exactly who we wanted to play, rotated them in, and they played really well. And so we feel like we're headed in the right direction. Are we a finished product? No. Are we coming along pretty nicely? Yes.
We as a unit, safeties and corners, we're going to get through it. And I mean, I'd rather this happen early in the season than happen later in the season. And I know it won't happen again because the way we act and the way we perform and prepare ourselves, that's something that we're going to eliminate.
As they normally are, this weekend is setting up to be another big one for the rest of the Ohio State athletic teams in play. On Friday, the women's soccer team heads to Madison for a game with the Wisconsin Badgers, while the women's ice hockey team takes on New Hampshire from right here in Columbus. On a busy Saturday, the men's soccer team takes on Michigan State, women's volleyball takes on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, the men's lacrosse team takes on North Carolina and Maryland, softball takes on Eastern Michigan, and men's ice hockey starts the season with an exhibition game against the University of Guelph. And on Sunday, softball takes on Bowling Green, women's soccer takes to Minnesota to face the Golden Gophers, and field hockey heads to Charlottesville, Virginia to face the Virginia Cavaliers. Well, Franz, I think we'd be absolutely remiss if we did not end this show with the video of Ohio State strength coach Anthony Schlegel laying a smackdown on a student who ran out onto the field at Ohio Stadium on Saturday. Now, while that's rolling, I have one question for you. Could you take a hit from Anthony Schlegel?
I think I could do it. I might be out for a few minutes, forget a few members of my family, but what I wouldn't want to deal with right now is the criminal charges that student, mechanical engineering student, Anthony Wonder, is currently facing in the Franklin County courts. So that seems rougher than the hit to me.
That is a sticky situation, but in any case, we're glad you're here and we're glad you did not get hit by Anthony Schlegel. But that's going to do it for this episode of Sports Perspective. Be sure to tune in next week and we'll have all the details from Ohio State's game against Maryland. Until then, for Franz Ross and the entire crew at The Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.